Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at soundwebstudios.com for all your needs, and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Wilson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with an amazing gentleman from the Santa Monica region who is the CEO and founder of Sky Castle Studios, and he was a former technical art director at Naughty Dog, and he's got a brand new company. He's a collaborator, a storyteller. He's also a founder of an amazing company that creates characters and makes them into little collectibles. So think of like Dungeons and Dragons. You think about maybe even some of the games that you've played, like with Dragon's Lair or Fortnite or anything like that. And of course, you can also create these designs free and easy to use. And of course, if you like collectibles, you're going to love this idea from Hero Forge Custom Miniatures. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Santa Monica, the CEO and founder of Sky Castle Studios, and also runs Hero Forge. And of course, the hot thing that's out there, you can collect on this idea. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Teagan Morrison. Teagan, morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate the intro. That's an interesting one these days with remote collaboration. You never know where a colleague or someone you're talking to is in the world. So I like that you got all your bases covered there.
And of course, you know, if you're free to make a character of me, you can do so as well too. It's like you can make characters of anything at any time, like Zoom meetings and all that. You can also take people who you talk on the Zoom and create characters. Before we get to that, you've been a CEO and founder of Sky Castle Studios for quite some time. Also responsible for Hero Forge as well too. You're the former technical art director at Naughty Dog, and you're also a collaborator, storyteller, and more. And you want to make these collectibles a lot of fun. Before getting all that, Teagan, tell us how I first got started.
Sure. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. It's certainly not a new company anymore. We've been going on for almost 8 years, though every
Wow.
day, given the challenges of growing the team and creating new features, it kind of has a lot of that freshness still, regardless. But back in the day, quite a while ago, a group of friends and we played a game called Dungeons and Dragons. You mentioned it already. It's quite a popular one. It's a popular form of tabletop role-playing game. There's a lot of different worlds that you can play tabletop role-playing genres in, but Dungeons and Dragons, I think, is the most popular. So we're playing this, and for Christmas, one of our friends and one of the original founders of Hero Forge wanted to get us all miniatures for Christmas. They were like, I'm gonna get you miniatures for the game we've been playing, for these characters you've been playing as and crafting in your imaginations for months and months and months now. I'm going to make them real. Let's find miniatures. And that process was, well, let's just say it didn't really match up to our imaginations. We were kind of left short, having created this world in our heads. We couldn't really manifest it in miniature form in the way we wanted. So looked around us and realized that we had all the talent in our friend group, in our circles, that we needed to start a company like this. And luckily, crowdfunding had really taken off, and it started to be this really viable way to say, hey, there's this niche thing. Would you like to see this exist? So we're like, let's do a Kickstarter. Let's do that over, in my case, it was over Christmas break. It was just sort of like a side passion project because I wanted to see the tools exist out there to let you make your own character into miniature. So we worked on this Kickstarter. We put it out early in the year, and we were just absolutely thrilled that people out there had similar love for creating miniatures and seeing their characters come to life that we did. And the Kickstarter did well enough that we were able to start a small company and bring on a few of the friends who had worked on us with the Kickstarter, and slowly grow from there. Flash forward 8 years, we're 40 plus people now, having started sort of essentially in a basement with a couple of friends making something because they loved it. Now with 40 plus people still making something because we love it, but certainly not a startup anymore, which is just what a wonderful journey to be able to go on. And of course, there's a lot of details in all of that. Feel free to ask any questions.
And of course, mainly based on the game as well too. Is it all based on games, or can you base it on movies, TV shows, or pop culture, anything like that? Is it all just games, or it can be just like like with from the movies or Netflix or anything like that?
We really wanted to be the everything character creator. So we want people to be able to come with their ideas, their inspirations, and manifest those characters. So in that sense, we want to cross all genres and create an incredible array of options. I believe we have more than 10,000 part options on the site, which isn't to
Wow.
say that like those can be combined in all sorts of intricate ways to create so many unique results that our users, our Hero Forge creators out there, post miniatures that they've made using the site, and we don't even know how they made them. We'll see them and we'll like say, I just have no concept of how you got there with the tools that we've provided. And we've only really just started to scratch the surface in terms of how powerful the tools are going to be. A feature coming soon will be a full-on facial customizer, so you can sculpt and form a humanoid face of various kinds. We imagine there's going to be an explosion of creativity when we add that, and the myriad of other things we're working on. It's wonderful stuff. It's hopefully just all kind of encompassing in terms of what you can create, and we're constantly adding more options.
It reminds me of that one app I see on Facebook where it's just like you can be able to cartoon your stuff. You can be able to create your own body. You can create an AI character, and of course, if you're lonely, you can create your own your ultimate companion too. That's what it sounds like, but you're taking it to another level.
It is fair to say that Hero Forge is used for like just a lot of expressions of fantasies in various ways, including I think one of my favorite trends was seeing people post a fairly realistic portrayal of themselves expressed in Hero Forge, and then the fantasy version of them, the version that might exist in a Lord of the Rings style fantasy world, and seeing those two contrasted next to each other, and the expressiveness in them, and suddenly now that you've introduced dragons and weapons and etc., it's been a fun thing to see for sure.
And of course, it's also you can also throw in some pop culture, pizza, and some dogs and everything else too. It's just like you can also based off of Facebook, Zoom calls, and everything else. So it's just like seems like the
Anything you
world is
want,
just
really.
endless.
We've seen Hero Forge used for like a wide variety of stuff. Mostly it's tabletop RPGs because that's it's they're in so much need of this kind of token on the table to represent your character, and people have so much love and appreciation for their characters that it really kind of is. It justifies creating that, manifesting that into the real world. But we've seen people use them for wedding cake toppers. I've loved some of the weddings that have had
Nice. I
Hero
love
Forge
that
on the cake.
idea. Yes. And you
Yeah,
can use them on game pieces on Monopoly and such.
we've seen people use them for custom game pieces where they've like, I have a significant other who just loves this game so much. I want to get them something special for it. I've seen just gifts of themselves, so gifts of the person they're giving the gift to, just a little representation of them. And I think one of the most heartwarming uses I saw was I heard that there was a school using them for figure drawing reference. So like you would use a mannequin for figure drawing, but instead making a Hero Forge character and drawing based on that. The uses there's a myriad of uses, but at its core, it's about storytelling. It's about expressing a character.
That had to be as well too. And how do you create these characters? How is the process? How is it done? We're going to talk about that with Teagan Morrison of Hero Forge. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show, the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first projects. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international war ring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. And Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes, Riley, M&M's. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and more. Also on HamiltonRadio.net every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/MiaMolsonZia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/MiaMolsonZia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the CEO and founder from Santa Monica, California of Sky Castle Studios and Hero Forge, Teagan Morrison here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we covered a surface about, how the company got started and what you can do with these characters online and everything. And, first of all, just walk us through a process and how you create those characters. Let's say you take a picture of me or something for some reason. So it's like, let's say you create a picture of me, or you create a picture of our sponsor here on the show, or say a dancing dog, on a phone or something. It's like, just walk it through a process and how you do that.
Sure. Let's talk about how these figures are manifest into the world. And just like you say, it kind of starts with an idea of like something you want to create. Quite often, and I'll go the typical route here, it might be a character you play, or you're playing as an NPC in a tabletop role-playing game. So this might be a character that you've played for months and months and months, and you've evolved, and you've seen them go through stories they've loved and lost, they've fought, won and lost through fantasy realms, and you might want to see that character's token kind of manifest into the real world. You might want to really kind of immortalize them in that sense. So go to heroforge.com. We really wanted it to be the most accessible imaginable. Like, how easily can you get to a place that you're now making a character? And we really wanted it to be an easy, enjoyable process too. So check out heroforge.com, where you can customize a miniature in that sense. But that's just one piece of the magic. Once you've finished that design, there's a lot of different things to do with it. You might be just happy to take some really nice screenshots, or maybe even create a digital token and never really turn it into a 3D miniature. We have tools for that, but a lot of people will purchase it in one of our various kind of material options. We were really lucky to kind of grow up along the explosion of 3D printing technology. Like, we as a species now have Star Trek replicator style
Oh my
ability
gosh,
to manifest.
my brother-in-law is a big Star Trek fanatic, and he even did 3D, long before 3D just absolutely exploded. You can do it right on your laptop too. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. So using technology that's just, well, mind-blowingly cool, we can take that Hero Forge Mini that you've designed in a browser in 3D and package it into file formats that can target various different 3D printers out there. Big shout out to our manufacturer we've worked with this whole time, Shapeways. They do incredible work gathering all this technology together, doing pick and pack, and then most recently Mamaki and their color 3D printing technology, cutting edge, and it's been a joy to work with that for finally getting color in miniature form right off the bat, so users don't have to color them themselves. They don't have to go through that process. Though, if you still want to paint miniatures, which is a wonderful hobby, really enjoyable, I love it myself, it's very therapeutic. If you still like that, of course, we offer unpainted, so you can really get the higher fidelity crafted by your own paintbrush. Various other targets of materials as well. For one of the more interesting ones, we offer Hero Forge Minis in bronze. And the way that process works is, still 3D printing, still bespoke manufacturing, but a wax cast is essentially 3D printed, so the inverse of the miniature, and then it's hand cast with precious metal, and then the wax is melted away, essentially is burned away, and you're left with just the miniature in all of its shiny glory after a good bit of polishing. So
nice.
That's a good one. It's a lovely blend of kind of very old style techniques and very, very modern ones to create the cast, and I think that's really, really cool. And of course, there's a lot of other options too, though. Color being the most cutting edge, the most kind of useful in the sense that it saves a lot of time if you were going to paint it yourself, and by far our most popular option. It doesn't stop there, though. We're really excited about the myriad of virtual tabletops that are out there now. Users aren't just playing around tables physically anymore, or if they are, they may even be using digital tool sets rather than pen and paper. And we've seen this, especially since COVID and people went more remote with their games, we've seen this explosion of options when it comes to virtual tabletops. Just a myriad of really, really beautiful, varied, innovative tabletops out there that we're just very, very happy to support. So now you can take your Hero Forge Mini and use it in virtual tabletops like Tailspire, which is one of the bigger ones right now, and a handful of other really good ones right now, and more to come. Really, really can't wait to see Hero Forge in more of these virtual tabletops.
What are some of the other programs that you guys recommend too, like with the tabletops and virtual and all that? You mentioned that one was a Tail something. I'm trying to catch it. What are some of the other platforms and applications that can post on as well?
Sure, yeah. Tailspire is
Tailspire, that's the name.
the most mature, I think, 3D virtual tabletop out there currently. But a lot of them, including, say, Arena, which is Harpy Arena, which is another one that we work with. A lot of them are, or Tabletop Simulator, which is kind of the oldest and like granddaddy for general tabletop games. All of these we support. But generally, I think it's all about finding the one that caters to your playstyle. Collaborative storytelling as a genre, sitting around a table or sitting around a virtual table and telling a story together is such like a personal experience. And the way you want to tell that story and the kinds of stories that resonate with you and the tools you want to use are really, really personal in that sense. So it's not a surprise we're seeing a lot of virtual tabletops, all with the thing that they emphasize, whether that be augmented reality or virtual reality or more traditional 2D play styles, etc. There's a lot of really good options out there. Find something that like matches your play style. Have you, Mike, played Dungeons and Dragons before?
I played it before, maybe bits and pieces there when I was going to school back in the 80s. That's how old school I am. And of course, arcades, it's like your Pac-Man, Defender, and then of course Donkey Kong. Then you got what was it, Dragon's Lair? That was the first DVD. You had to wait hours and hours for it. It just eats all your cores practically. You can just been playing Pac-Man, talking to some girl or something.
I think that just says something about the power of storytelling, that even in the arcade setting, this game was one of the very first arcade games that tried to tell a story that really had you on the kind of on the hook for what was happening next, that people would just pour quarters into it to try to get further and appreciate this far more cinematic experience than you would get normally from an arcade back then.
Yeah, it does. And remember too, is just like sometimes they'll hit the wrong way in the first place. Watch a guy go like that, just get a big kick out of it. So
yeah, you could lose fast in that game for sure. Very different experience than a collaborative story telling session for the most part, which are kind of really made to be the most fulfilling as possible. You don't want that to be a total party kill as quickly as possible. You want it to be something that like has its ups and downs and tension, of course, but generally as a human game master crafting a story, you're going to want to keep it on the rails a little bit more than Dragon's Lair was. Dragon's Lair was willing to kill you quickly, that's for sure.
Oh my god, and eat all your quarters in the process too. And it's like
yeah.
you could same for Pac-Man, get a pizza or anything like that. So I mean, you just had some of those. So yeah.
I have to ask, did you use miniatures back in the day when you played Dungeons and Dragons?
We did use the miniatures, and I am trying to recall. This is probably like so many years ago, and I think it was like I think it was like the original ones were like either of silver, and it wasn't like the gold or anything like that. It was like your standard metals. I think.
Yeah, those were quality. Pewter was quite common as well.
Yeah, and some were painted, some were not, and then later went to plastic, and and everything else. And I think, somewhere like that. And my boys were playing it for a bit too. They're playing the tabletop, and then they went 3D as well too, went virtual. And I even sometimes see them, up on Discord or Twitch, and playing with friends like from the other side of the country.
Oh, I
Dungeons and
love that they're
Dragons,
into it
yes.
too. Well, I'll have to hook them up with some subscriptions to Hero Forge if it'll be useful for them.
Oh, I would certainly do so too. And of course, speaking of Hero Forge, you talk about creating the characters and everything like in digital form or your standard platform and everything else, like a statue or little model and everything. Can that be converted into NFTs or like blockchains or anything like that? Because there are some companies out there that produce like paintings or art, photographs, and then they turn into blockchains or NFTs. And can that be done as well?
I mean, in theory, it could be done, but I think probably maybe the more interesting question is, should it be done? NFTs tend to create artificial scarcity. It says that this thing is now in concept owned by one person and only them. And as a result, you see a lot of generation of like automatic generation of a whole bunch of permutations of something, and they're all kind of cookie cutter to some extent, but unique so that they can be sold as unique pieces. I feel like Hero Forge is, and the vast majority of the game industry too, is so like completely opposed to being integrated in that way. It can be very, very unhelpful to look at it like that. So instead, we want to keep Hero Forge off the blockchain, I think, away from NFTs, and instead a free place to go and express yourself, and create your own characters. And I think the idea that you could say this character is now mine permanently and no one else can ever own it would really create this kind of minefield of like how you express yourself on a creative tool like Hero Forge. So while we've certainly had our eye on like what the industry's doing, just because it's such a fascinating development in kind of technology and ownership, it seems so opposed to Hero Forge. And gosh, we see every day now a game that announces that it's supporting NFTs, and I face palm every time that happens. I come from the video game industry at Naughty Dog, crafting games about telling stories, really trying to give the players the richest story imaginable, really immerse them. And this sort of rampant monetization that like NFTs are so known for, I think can harm the experience so extensively that it can be a bit of a problem. So as you can tell, not a huge fan of how NFTs and these digital products like games kind of mix. I got this from a friend. This is certainly not a unique saying, but I imagine there'll be some really, really good uses for NFTs in the future, but they will be far more boring than than the ones we're getting excited about right now.
I wouldn't be surprised as well too. And of course, could be creating a Hero Forge of us right now, or some inanimate object like pizza and all that, or maybe a dog too. It's like they could be doing that with a dog too.
It's fair to say that we actually just today, I announced on our socials that we were going to be releasing a dog option for Hero Forge, and that comes with kind of like a whole customizer around it. You could add wings to the dog, change your ears, change your dog's pose, and it's really exciting to branch out from humanoid characters that we've really gone extensive with humanoid characters. You can add 6 arms if you want, all sorts of like monster features. We've gone wild with humanoid characters. So now we've like started to add monsters and animals, and we're excited to be giving everybody a puppy for Christmas. It'll be the launch on Christmas Day.
Ooh.
We'll be launching Hero Forge dogs and other animals, all part of the customizer options.
Oh my gosh, I think that's so amazing too. And of course, if you guys are watching this close to Christmas time, make sure you order from Hero Forge. And how do they get signed up? How do they create an account? And what do they do in order to get their Hero Forge character?
We try to make that as easy as possible. So just go to heroforge.com and you'll be right in the character creator already. Just play with it. We really set it up so that it could be kind of a discovery experience. Just click things, see what happens, see what you make, and get creative and get kind of excited about crafting what you want to craft, whether it's a character for you, character for someone else, or who knows what, just go for it. It's a accessible, playful experience for sure.
It makes great Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, birthday gifts, anniversaries, wedding presents as well too, or just give to a friend just for the heck of it. So
I hope so. There's nothing really quite like seeing one of your characters become real. Like I have one of mine here that I played
oh,
for
can you bring it a little closer so we can all see?
it might be a little blurry, but
Oh my goodness. I think that looks like back in the day at a swashbuckling buccaneer, but it kind of looks like a
yeah.
cross of Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what made me think of Pirates of the Caribbean.
That is Ruffle the Bard. He's always causing trouble. The party might roll their eyes at his antics a lot, but they're always going to appreciate the humor, I hope.
Mhm. And what are some other characters that you can show us for us?
That's the only one I have on my desk right now, and that like that's a character really close to my heart that I played in a tabletop RPG, actually run by our marketing director Fox. Incredibly immersive world with just the most beautiful storytelling, and we actually had an entirely theater of the mind campaign. So that means we're not using miniatures, we're not using tabletop, we're just expressing it all in our imaginations. But I mean, I have a connection to Hero Forge, so it was very easy for me to manifest that character into the real world, and I couldn't be more proud that I get to use the tool we've made and that the team has put so much work into. That's so powerful to then make my own character out of my own imagination. Like I'm just happy that it exists a lot of the time.
And I'm certainly creating characters in my head. We'll give everybody a chance to create their characters in the head and sign up and everything. What's coming up for Teagan Morrison of Hero Forge? We'll find out just 1 minute, and you can create characters in the head while we take a break. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at SoundWebStudios.com for all your needs. And brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the CEO founder from Santa Monica, California, Teagan Morrison, after this time out. We're back with the founder CEO of Hero Forge, Teagan Morrison, here on the Mike Wagner Show. I think we've created some characters in our head. We'll just reveal them afterwards. I hope you guys did the same. In the meantime, what else can we expect you guys in 2022 or 2023 and beyond, Teagan?
Aye, great question. We've always got our eye on the future. Love adding new features to Hero Forge. It was made from the ground up to be this a project that kind of that builds upon itself and adds more and more and more with more than 10,000 options at this point. We are probably adding the biggest feature we've ever added soon, and that's what we've been dubbing kit bashing. In miniature hobbies, kit bashing would generally be taking one piece of one miniature, or maybe like some green stuff, and sculpting or adding onto another miniature and creating something unique in that sense. It's a big part of the hobby. It's a really cool way to create something that's very, very much special in yours. And I actually kit bashed the very first Dungeons and Dragons miniature that I ever made for one of my games, where I couldn't find an orc priest with a mace, so I had to cut the sword off and put a mace on it. And it was that moment when that broke because it was so fragile, hard to glue together, that I was like, you know what, maybe there's a better option out there. So kit bashing is a big part of the hobby, and we want it to be a big part of the digital hobby now too. So we're adding features to Hero Forge that really let you go kind of wild with what you can create, allowing you to take pieces and put them just about anywhere, scale them, rotate them. It's certainly a more advanced interface, but the power of being able to take, say, a pseudo dragon familiar and position it onto your character's shoulder in just the way you want it to be. So it could be curling its tail around your character's neck, and then they could add a fireball to its face if you wanted to have it breathing fire.
Oh, nice.
Whatever you want to do there, like really the possibilities are just endless at that point. So we're so psyched for that feature. We're a little scared for that feature admittedly, because it's so much power that it's very easy to make a miniature that's not printable, that can't be manufactured. We take that into account when we make the customizer, knowing exactly all the constraints of printability, while giving those powerful tools to users means that we have to create a whole pipeline for adjusting miniatures and getting back to users with feedback. Hey, that change you made is actually going to mean that it's too small to print or too fragile to print, and we have to put some supports in there, etc. So
Hmm.
it's going to be an interesting project, but we cannot wait to see what users come up with using the system, because it is going to be wildly powerful. And our users every step of the way have just impressed us to no end with the amount of imagination and craft and artistry and love that they put into their creations on Hero Forge. Oh my gosh.
I'm certainly looking forward to it as well too, and I'm sure you'll be blessed by the orc priest to do so. So
Yeah, but luckily Hero Forge, without any kit bashing at all, was able to handle that one easily. But now we're just trying to go above and beyond, and anything you can kind of imagine making with kit bash miniatures in the real world, hopefully we can recreate that experience digitally.
we'll certainly do so, taking Dungeons and Dragons to a new level, and certainly look forward to it. We're here, CEO and founder of Hero Forge, Teagan Morrison, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a couple more things, and I'm still creating some characters in my head as well too as we go along. We hope you guys are doing the same. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, interesting question. I mean, like my early career was all at Naughty Dog. They and I'd say that like Naughty Dog as a studio was probably the biggest influence. It was, well, a studio that I loved before I even started working there. I was a huge fan of Jack and Daxter series on PlayStation 2, and the games they made were always so iconically unique. They looked like nothing any other studio was making. So when it came time to get a job at 21, I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply to this studio that I've loved growing up. They've made incredible games, and I was so lucky to get a job there. And I was there for a decade. So huge,
Nice.
huge fan of the company and what they create. And the incredible talent that works there. No one person can get the credit there. It has to be just the collection of brilliant artists, engineers, writers, designers, and just fantastic humans that have gathered together to make some of the most amazing art that humanity has ever created. Interactive art being this just accumulating all sorts of art together. There was an hour and a half of movies in Uncharted. In one game, there was an hour and a half worth of movie, essentially, and countless pieces of art within it. What an incredible studio, and I can't wait to see what they're working on next. I imagine it's something new, but who knows?
Well, who knows too? I think I'll pull out my PlayStation to find that out as we speak here. So
I'm gonna get a bit of a treat, which is I get to play Uncharted 4, which I worked on back in the PlayStation 4 days. I get to play Uncharted 4 on a on a PC, which I cannot believe it's coming out on, in like very high definition, in
wow.
at frame rates and resolutions that I never saw it on while I was working on it. So I'm psyched for that. I'm really what a treat as a creator to see something that you worked on for so long rebirthed in such modern glory.
Oh, I'm so ready for it as well. I'm looking forward to it. And lastly, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
If the advice relates to kind of creating what you love and following those dreams, is really allow yourself to kind of get obsessed with the creation process. Whether you're trying to be an artist, a designer, a programmer, whether you're trying to start a company, fall in love with the subject matter, become like immersed in it to the point that like you understand it inside and out. If overcome those hurdles of imposter syndrome by continuously learning more and more, discover all the things you don't know and then learn about them. Really get obsessed and fall in love, because it's a big world out there of a lot of people who love a lot of things, and those with the most passion, those with the most drive to see their creations manifest are going to be the ones who get there. So find a way to love the art.
We will certainly do so. Maybe we'll have Geico the Lizard, be part of the the Hero Forge as well, too, being like Orc Lizard or whatever it is. You can still save money, but I promise not to kill you if you save money. So,
Well, we'll try our best not to call the lizard Geico lizard, but
I'm
we'll
kidding.
probably add a lizard at some point to Hero Forge. We really, like I said, want it to be the everything creator.
There you go. We were certainly looking forward to it here with Teagan Morrison, CEO and founder from Santa Monica, California, Sky Castle Studios and Hero Forge custom miniatures on the Mike Wagner Show. Teagan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Great journey. Looking forward to having you soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Thanks so much, Mike. I really, really appreciate it. It was a pleasure chatting. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I hope you tell many, many more stories to come. And you can find me at Teagan Morrison across all social media. And then, of course, heroforge.com if you want to make your own characters. Those characters that you've been thinking up in your head, go manifest them, turn them into reality now on heroforge.com. Thank you, Mike.
We will certainly do so. Once again, Teagan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been totally amazing. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having it soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'll have you back. Wish you all the best. And Teagan, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mike. You have a wonderful one.